Hello, and welcome to Carly's Castle. My name is Carly, and I'm a psychic medium. Today, I'm going to be doing a photo energetic reading on Julia Roberts. The first thing that I got was Daddy's Girl. So she must, I don't know if she's the firstborn daughter, or, who else is it, if she has like other siblings even, but, that's the very first impression that I got. So the next thing that I was picking up was fashionista. So when I heard this, I was thinking, I don't really see her as that. But what I think happened was when she first came on the scene, whoever was around her in the industry, they saw her and they were like, oh, she's perfect. She has the it factor. She's gorgeous. We can use her as a fashionista, somebody that we're gonna put whatever brands and clothes and look on her to use in all the magazines and movies and whatever, and all the little younger teenagers are gonna look up to her, or something along the lines of that, because I don't really feel like she's like that in real life, but I saw that it was in her energy, so I feel like it just was something they immediately saw her and tried to like paint her as. Okay. The next thing that I was picking up from her energy around this time, when she first came on the scene, and this is early on in her career, was that she was cheerful and cheery. She was very innocent, but she was an overachiever. Then I picked up Meryl, like Meryl Streep. So I'm assuming she's maybe close to her in some way, or maybe she looked up to her in her, she's one of the best actresses, so maybe she looked up to her in some way. Then I was getting vocal and acting lessons, but I don't feel like vocal lessons for like singing. I feel like it was for voice acting. Then I was getting something completely else that had nothing to do with her career. I was actually picking up that she has a starseed lineage of Andromeda. So I didn't really fully look into this. This is just, what I was picking up as I was writing down my notes. And then what's interesting that came after this was Spirit like had me feel, I like energetically, she had like these metal braces in her mouth. Like this is, like I said, when she was younger, this is not now. And I had to kind of think of what this could possibly mean. And I was thinking that it was something about having to take her natural self and tame what she said, or contain, or the industry tried to contain her in a certain way. Maybe if they had to keep, maybe she spoke up for herself, or I'm not really sure like what was happening, but I feel like it had to do with her speaking, and something like that. And then maybe she had to learn to speak in a certain way to get her point across. And then I was getting radio, but I heard it in a sing-song voice like radio. Then I have charity. So maybe she's involved with charities. I don't know if she has her own or she just is involved with it or donates to it. Then I heard grace. So she's very like graceful. Then what was really, really interesting was I heard a song. So the song I heard was Heard It All Before by Sunshine Anderson. And it's like, heard it all before, you and your lies. Something like that, right? So I feel like, she's probably been through a lot. She's like so super gorgeous all her life. So I feel like so many men have tried to court her and pursue her and just lie their damn pants off to be with her. So, or, also in the industry, it may not just be romantic pursuit, and maybe, people lying to her in the industry, or, something like that. But I feel like this is more romantic actually. So I feel like she's, just been through a lot and heard a lot, and doesn't really believe people. Like she's not so gully like she was in the beginning, and innocent like she was in the beginning of her career. She had learned over time that people aren't who they say they are, especially men, and things like that. Then I heard regal, like she became very regal over time. Then here I tried to see if I could ask a question. So I asked what her favorite food was, and I heard spaghetti. Then for some reason I think I heard Little Miss Polly. I have no idea what that is. I feel like maybe, I have no idea if that's a role she played. I don't know if it's somebody she knows. I don't know if it's something to do with maybe a school play. Like, I don't know, because Little Miss, like, I'm not sure. So I just heard that. Then I heard author, director, playwriter. So I'm not sure if she's doing any of those things. I don't know if these are like just stuff from movies she's played, because that made me think, Little Miss Polly. Like, I'm not sure where that was going. So then I heard something actually directly in her voice, and she said, "I've had my choice of fair share of classical music." So I'm really not sure what she meant by that and why she chose to say it in that way. But maybe she really, really likes classical music. Maybe that's what she chooses to listen to when she unwinds, or before she goes to bed, or when she's studying lines, something like that. I asked if she had any regrets in life, and I wrote yes / this was a little confusing because I wrote these notes a while ago before I'm doing the reading. So I wrote yes / yes, and then like yes, no. But the point of the story is like she basically kind of did. She said, no, yeah, everybody has regrets. So, and then I kind of got the energy of she didn't live out loud more. She was always going through the process, wanted to be seen, wanted to be heard, and in the process there was a lot of silence, gratitude but solitude. Her life was like a fortress no one could get in. A lot of things have shaped her: pain and anger, anxiety, always trying to fit in and stand out, always looking up the road, what's the next major thing, like, major project, film, something like that. Never really enjoying the moment. She said, "I want to experience things, extraordinary and mundane. I want to travel and collect books, rocks. I don't care about the family life. I just want to explore, experience." Now, I had to pause here because I don't think she meant that she doesn't care about her family. I think that it was like her higher self speaking, or her soul. Like, I think she meant like having a regular nuclear family where everything is like super traditional and you're just like, I don't know how to word it correctly, but I kind of get what she means. Like, she loves her family very much, I feel. I just think that she meant was, maybe if she could have worded it different because she was just trying to get her point across, it would have just taken longer to explain. So she just said that. I feel like she meant like, she also could have said familiar, and I heard family, which would make sense because she wants to get out and see the unknown and not just get stuck in a rut and not really know life and explore things in the world and things about yourself. Because I definitely don't think she meant that energy towards her partner or children in any way. She really cares about being involved with life itself and having experiences. That's the main point. And she has a great appreciation for things that bring her joy. I got next that she used to wear chapstick more. Then I started hearing the Pretty Woman theme song, so I thought that was funny. And then I heard she shaped destiny in a tight dress, which is actually true. That was a very iconic, movie and role she played. Then I heard the words budget, and then I heard criminal lawyer, which I know she did play Erin Brockovich. Then I heard background in photography. So I don't know if she is a photographer or it was like another role she played, or like possibly her family, her parents. I'm not sure. Then I heard the word cast type. So I don't know what that means like 1,000,000,000%, but I think it means like, she's like perfect for a lot of different roles. I think. I'm not really sure. Like, a lot of people just automatically want her because she's tall. Her face is like, very pleasant looking, and she's a major actress. Like, there's so many like bullet points that she hits, or I'm not sure what exactly they like about her, but that's what I was getting. Then I heard the song Material Girl by Madonna. I have no idea why. But maybe she really liked that song, or maybe that song came out in a pivotal time of her life. I don't know if she like knew Madonna. I'm not really sure what the connection is to that song. Then she mentioned the show Friends, and then I had the impression the producers really wanted her to be on that show. And then there was something about somebody wanting her to wear a red dress. So I don't know if it's connected to that show or like another event or movie or something, but there was like a really, 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 really strong energy around somebody wanting her to wear a red dress. I feel like maybe that was from Pretty Woman, but I'm not sure. Then I felt something about a Spanish accent, so I'm not sure if she had a role, if she played, somewhere where she spoke Spanish or where she was in a Spanish country, or maybe that's somewhere she traveled, or I really don't know why I was like getting that, but that's something that came out. And then I got climbing a mountain. So maybe I don't know if she hikes, or maybe like somewhere where she traveled, like that's one of the destinations where she was going, like a mountain. Maybe that's connected to one of the places she went, that they were speaking Spanish, or, some kind of Spanish country or something. Obviously I don't mean Spain, don't get politically correct on me here, but you know what I mean. So I asked, do you have any fears? And this is current though. This was not like when she was young. I noticed at some point her older self was coming through, even though I was reading her younger photo. And I got traveling alone. So I'm not sure if that was always a fear of hers, or maybe this is just something very recently that, she can't started having the fear of. But this is what I picked up. And then I said, any anxiety? And she said she's afraid of her children growing up and not really knowing who she is. She's more than who she was on screen, and she tries to spend as much time as she can with them and get involved in their lives. Now, this is all I have on Julia Roberts. I hope you enjoyed this reading. This is all alleged, of course. This is just what energetically I was picking up psychically from her photo and what I was hearing and impressions that I was getting. If you know anything about what I was talking about, please leave a comment in the comment section. And if you would like to suggest a reading for me to do on somebody else, go ahead and write that in the comments as well. And if you want a reading with me, you can contact me through my email, and see you next time.